Thanksgiving's coming up. Well, we're just not gonna. We're gonna be three of us,
and as a result, we do need to close our schools for the coming days.
We did it already. That's the law. An orange zone and a red zone. Follow the facts. Oh, they're not confused. You're confused. Allah Akbar!
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's happening, Habibis? Get settled in. We're back for another Habibi Power Hour. How you doing, Jay Habibi?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you very much.
Oh, good. For those who are tuning in for the first time, I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Mujahed Kobbe.
And this is Habibi Power Hour, where we just like to relax, lounge, talk about some of the news and politics, talk some shit.
Talk a lot of shit.
Oh, of course, yeah. Be sure to subscribe to the channel below. Are we back? Is the website back up again?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Well, I won't tell the Habibis to go to our website then, which will be back momentarily.
Yes,
but
it's aiming for tomorrow night. Tomorrow
Inshallah.
night, Friday maximum. Inshallah.
Inshallah. What are we drinking tonight?
Buffalo Trace, but
there we go.
I'm
taking it easy. I'm going with just the light one tonight.
Like you do every night.
Oh God, you little bitch. But yeah, we got a lot to cover actually. Last week and the week before, I think you and I were just so gassed we couldn't cover any of the stories with really any energy. We were so tired. But I'm hoping that my audio is a bit better this time around. I know you're sounding good. But yeah, let's get into it with our little jihad on tap. There we go. So first of all, we have seen today. I'd say there was probably no other story that was bigger than all politicians sort of being called out for being hypocrites on COVID. And I bring that up with this. This is a tweet from Bill, I want to say Malugan. How do you say that? You see that?
I can't. What is that? Melligan.
Melligan?
Malugan.
Malugan?
Malugan.
Malugan balls?
Malickin.
Malickin my balls. Anyways, so this is an exclusive photo that they tweeted out late last night. And they obtained photos of California Governor Gavin Newsom at a Napa dinner party. And the photos call into question just how outdoors the dinner was. I don't know. It looks like, they're obviously not standing 6 feet apart. No one's wearing masks. And
I was told that
the sliding doors have been closed. Huh?
Masks before and after every bite.
Yeah.
That's what we were told. And it's just fascinating to me because these are the people who tell us every fucking day that they follow what? They follow science. Like he has it on fucking all caps and everything with every fucking tweet that he does. And then you see this type of garbage and this type of shit. And don't give me the fucking shit if you're pissed off at this and you're saying, oh, now I don't have to follow shit. That means you were never going to follow shit in the beginning. Well, bitch, this just gives me more power not to follow it. I don't give a fuck.
So one of the things that's obviously interesting in the story you see here is that it was obviously for a top California political operative's birthday dinner at the French Laundry restaurant this month. But the craziest thing about it is that there were California Medical Association officials who were attending the dinner. And I mean, I'm part of California, being one of the 2 states, at least, as well as New York, having the strictest COVID protocols and procedures and just restrictions throughout the country. It's just stunning to me that not only do you have the governor of California there, but a bunch of supposed medical association officials. I don't know if they're exactly doctors or scientists, but I mean, if you're part of a medical association, you probably have some familiarity with science and understanding of how impactful this virus is. And it's just constant. And I saw this is great from Billy Finn. Where is it? The French Laundry. Let them have lockdowns. It's exactly the mode of what this society has come to, is that lockdowns for thee, but not for me.
Right.
And it gets even better because yesterday, or I think it was Tuesday. It was either Monday or Tuesday. We had a hearing on the Hill in the Senate Judiciary Committee on these big tech hearings. So you had Jack Dorsey, Mark Zuckerberg, I want to say Sundar Pichai from Google. Pichai. Sundar Pichai. And then you have Dianne Feinstein over here, the ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, seen in the halls of the Senate, essentially 100% not wearing a mask.
100% is right.
Yeah. She's what? How old is she again? She's what? 87, 88 years old.
She's as old as what's his name?
As Chuck Grassley, who, by the way, who tested positive for COVID. Mm-hmm. He is in the most vulnerable subset of the population. Everybody's talking about protecting your grandmas and grandpas.
He's one of those guys.
This. Oh no, I'm going to point this way. It's because the way you see my screen's over here, but everybody is seeing over here. This is just some really fucked up shit. Then on top of that, just in the last week, because obviously the election just happened, you're starting to have an orientation for the new members that enter Congress. So House Democrats, House Republicans, they are hosting a dinner for sort of the new members, as well as the old members. So basically, there was a Capitol dinner that was going to be held on the Hill, and they ended up having to cancel it, but it was only until after it was caught on social media that they ended up canceling it. So they were going to They were going to hold it
right
until everybody and got mad.
They're trying to double down on it and be like, oh, we are following all the strictest guidelines and all this kind of bullshit. And you just see all these high-end tables getting ready for this nice dinner and all this kind of shit, while they're telling you that you need to tell your parents and your family to go fuck themselves because you're not going to go see them for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, essentially.
100%.
And it's garbage too, because, I'm talking to, I have family members who have, bad asthma. I have family members who, obviously a lot of medical, preconditions. I'm sorry, pre-existing conditions, not preconditions. And they're worried about getting it. I mean, I've had family members who've gotten it. Thankfully, the ones who have gotten it are doing well. I mean, they did get sick, obviously, but the symptoms, comparatively speaking, were mild. But it's just I don't understand how you don't have a revolution because of this. I mean, we just passed an election, so of course, we're talking about things the idea of a political revolution through voting, but this is Tea Party level shit. This is I wouldn't say French Revolution because that was a really terrible revolution. specifically after the French Republic was established.
Right.
Oh God. Kate says Siraj has people in his life with asthma. Jay has people in his life with asthma. Oh my God.
The people in my life are so
good.
lucky. It's not even funny how
Yeah.
lucky these
I mean,
people
like
are.
the thing is, there is a vaccine on the horizon, and you have Moderna and Pfizer, both part of Operation Warp Speed that collaborated.
What they are, but NBC journalists said that they weren't. The NBC
Actually,
journalist guy said
interestingly enough,
no.
so this video that Trump tweeted, this is from, I want to say this is from today that he tweeted it out, but get a load of this. Get ready for it.
This is an unmitigated success, and we should acknowledge that. The Moderna vaccine was done with funds from Operation Warp Speed, and the Pfizer one has funding when it comes to the distribution and manufacture. And I just think it's important that people working so hard, Moncef Slaoui and the others, get credit for this. And President Trump was the one who okayed it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the pace of medical innovation has been forever changed. I mean, 3 months, January 11th is when they got the sequence of this virus. By March 16th, 2 months later, shots were going into arms as part of these clinical trials. I couldn't believe it when I saw that pace. It typically takes, years to really get these vaccines approved. It'll be done within a year. So that is worth celebrating. And now we have some early data to be very optimistic about.
So all of the scientists, everyone behind this, all the way up to President Trump and Vice President Pence, congratulations on this great accomplishment. We're obviously waiting for more news and for the vaccine to be available. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, thanks so much.
Okay, so I know that's so funny because it's coming from your favorite person. Not actually, maybe your second or third favorite person, Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper. I'm just pronouncing it how you pronounce it now.
I know. I can't help it. I have to pronounce it Jake Tapper.
Jake Tapper. Yeah. So what was the debate over Pfizer not being part of Operation Warp Speed? I don't know if I missed the boat on that, but there was like one giant debate online about Pfizer pushing back, saying they actually weren't working with the Trump administration.
And they didn't get any funds directly for it and stuff. So it was a play on words. I don't know why Pfizer's CEO in their statement went out that way. And also, I don't know why the Pfizer company withheld this information from the administration as well, that they were that close to it. But it looks like a nasty fucking play by that company and by that CEO, that they wanted to do that in a way to, get themselves away from the administration, not like hurt the administration or hurt Trump or anything like that, but like get themselves away from like the administration and help them in any way.
Yeah. I mean, what's so wild about it is that, pharmaceutical companies are by and large hated by basically everyone. You got you go from like the opioid epidemic, creating, all these drugs that people get hooked on, whether it be fentanyl, OxyContin, basically the stuff that you get prescribed and you get hooked on, that end up killing you. And I don't know how this move by distancing themselves from the Trump administration is going to make anyone think, you know what? Actually, the pharmaceutical companies are good. They don't price gouge. They don't charge me for all these fucking side effects. It's just such a weird play. So it's all stupid. But I think the one thing we need to look at here is that, despite the fact that the pharmaceutical companies are in charge of creating these vaccines, and they're going to be making a shit ton of money doing so, we should never, at one particular point, start to praise them because they obviously created this vaccine. I mean, they just because they created the vaccine doesn't mean they get off the hook on any of the other shady or bad shit they do. Right.
I thought you were going to go full Alex Jones and be like, they created COVID. I was waiting for it. I was like, oh shit, here we
Just
go.
roar up in your mind, brother.
It's happening. The vaccine's going to make your frog gay.
Wait, what? I don't know if your mic cut out. Anyways,
I said
what I
the
want.
vaccine is going to make your frog gay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Essentially,
100%.
100%. Anyways, I bring up this clip of I forgot to download it, so let me just go ahead and download it right now, and I'll play it for the Habibis. But Thanksgiving. Oh no, New York cases are back on the rise. So after everybody praising Andrew Cuomo, and I'll play this right now. This is so good. So these are just a couple of just some gems from Cuomo's. Hold on, sorry, not Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo. We haven't talked about him in a minute. But this is just get ready for this shit. This is beautiful. Hold on one second.
And just to make it very simple, if you socially distanced and you wore a mask and you were smart, none of this would be a problem. It's all self-imposed. It's all self-imposed. If you didn't eat the cheesecake, you wouldn't have a weight problem. It's all self-imposed.
All right, so right there,
my
sounds like a lot of victim blaming.
Yes. Holy shit.
And then it gets even better. Just watch this little argument that Cuomo has with a reporter from the Wall Street Journal about school openings. Get ready for this.
So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're now going to override. We did it already. That's the law. An orange zone and a red zone. Follow the facts.
I'm still confused.
Well, then you're confused.
I'm confused, and
then I'll tell you what, Jimmy.
Parents are still confused as well. The schools in
they're
New York
not
City
confused.
tomorrow.
You're confused.
No, I think
Read
parents
the
are
law.
very confused as well.
Read the law, and you won't be confused.
Read the law. Read the law.
It's just amazing that people are people are still fawning over this guy and thinking that this is a savior of some sort.
You have to understand. This is Brian Kemp and DeSantis in Cuomo disguise. It's not really Cuomo.
It's actually very Trumpian of Cuomo to do this, to go after a reporter.
Not only go after the reporter, but also the victim blame, like he did in the very beginning. I think I'm echoing from your mic.
Are you?
Yeah, I think.
Are Habibi's noticing that? Let me turn you down. All right, go ahead.
I'm hearing it, but what I was saying is, like, if anyone, can you imagine if Brian Kemp or DeSantis victim blamed the way that Cuomo did just then, saying that, like, if you're eating cheesecake and you're wondering why you're getting fat. Can you imagine if any Republican said some shit like that? Not only would people be crying and bitching of fat shaming from the typical people you see doing that, you're not seeing anyone report on it. Who are you seeing report on it? Except for like the Daily Caller or anyone from there. Has CNN picked it up? Has fucking Brian stupid shit Stelter picked it up? Like anyone? Nobody's picked it up. What's it called? Trump will make Acosta cry, and then Stelter would write a 5-page fucking newsletter about like how, oh my God, we're all in danger and all this kind of stuff. And he's completely silent over this.
Yeah.
He's not going to say shit over it because he's a fake piece of shit, just like most all journalists. Every fucking person in cable news is fake as fuck. Every person that's letting Cuomo off the hook while they go and whine in the corner over anything that Trump says is a fucking fake piece of shit. And that's what they all are. Just fake pieces of shit.
It's hold on. Before we go on, this is what we should start calling it. Thank you, Wonder Kimmy. It's perfect. But it's fascinating to see what's happening right now. You really, during this transitionary period, and again, this is a big thing because we're about to get into the election news in just a moment. Mm-hmm. But you're gonna see even more about the mainstream media and the media elite based on how they treat Democrats in power. Assuming that all results hold, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are sworn in on January 20th, 2021. This is going to be, you're going to see, I mean, like the alternate media is real.
Gonna see.
American news. It's definitely on the rise. And
for sure.
I think you're going to see a lot more people start to leave Fox News because of their handling of or dealing with certain politicians, whether they be Republican or Democrat. But it seems like they've gone all full in on the lib tank. But before we go on with that, I want to highlight a couple things. First of all, this is, for most people, Thanksgiving is canceled. I mean, Joe Biden, I think he gave some sort of well, no one's really watching these things because who cares about Joe Biden? But he was saying that there were going to be like 3 people, him and like his wife and like someone else, probably, I don't know, like their dog or daughter or son or someone like that.
I mean,
maybe Hunter. Look, if it was 3 of them and Hunter was not in at Thanksgiving, that's a huge slap in the fucking face. I would
you'd feel bad.
So bad. But now the talk has shifted to Christmas, and a lot of it started because of this exchange on Jake Tapper's show, State of the Union.
Happening. We've got to get the vaccine. It's got to be deployed, and we can't abandon fundamental public health measures. You can approach a degree of normality while still doing some fundamental public health things that synergize with the vaccine to get us back to normal.
So not until the second or third quarter of 2021, though. Christmas is probably not going to be possible.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so that was saw the exchange, and this was such a weird like way to spin it. And this is, I think a lot of it started from Jack Posobiec, who I think is still with One American News. And he's saying that Jake Tapper does not get to tell me whether or not my family celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ. Like, really? That's how you took it? I mean,
it's hilarious.
It's just like amazing spin on that. I mean, think, and also Steve Guest does a really bad disservice to the clip as well.
Yeah, he does.
And, like, not adding any context about of a vaccine being ready. It's just completely taken out of context. Of course, the memes were hilarious. I saw, Prison Mitch put out like, I think Fauci as the Grinch,
right?
But Jack did I mean, like, what's his following? It's like 1.1 million. That's 1.1 million people that he's putting that shit out to, and it's not accurate, and it's just like, God, it's so stupid. But I will say this: I'm gonna put up this clip because this is from, despite all of his really bad opinions, Piers Morgan actually did a really good job. I think he's being pretty consistent.
Someone here makes a good point. Rudy Alexander, 5 days after Madness, just because it's Christmas, we had lockdown for other religions' festivals. Yes, we did actually.
Well, Diwali.
Why should the Christians get it easier? Seriously, why should we? Why should we be the ones that have to have our festival saved when we didn't do that for other religious festivals in the last few weeks? It's a good question. We're either all in this together or we're not. And I don't think the entire health of the nation should rest on whether we can gorge together on turkey for a couple of days or whatever it may be.
Or nut roast.
Just personally, I think we've got to be slightly selfless about this.
All right, so I know a lot of people would be like, "What the fuck, Siraj and Mujahed, Mujahed, focusing on this argument that Piers Morgan actually is right about all these religious holidays not us being allowed to get together." Obviously, this is the first time, maybe I want to say, since I was a kid, that I was able to fast every day during Ramadan, and there was no one else that I could really share that with besides my wife, who's Jewish. And we did Passover as with my in-laws, because again, I live with my in-laws. Right. But like Thanksgiving, Christmas, like it's very, very tight knit. Rosh Hashanah, obviously another thing that was very tight knit. And And it sucks. I mean, like I actually like participating in the High Holy Days, the Jewish High Holy Days, with Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and going to temple with my wife and her family. And all of it was virtual. It's all like, I mean, you don't get that sense of, community and, a reconnection of to God. And, people are going to say that like Joe Biden was elected and the war on Christmas is back on. Like, seriously.
That was so good.
I think it's funny to say that in like a, joking sense, just of course,
Right.
because, like, I mean,
That's
Biden might be a lib, but he's Catholic. So
sure, he is. But also, like, we just have to make sure everyone is clear on this. Christmas is haram anyways. So it's better that we cancel it to save your souls. Alhamdulillah, COVID came here for you, to actually see the light and shut Christmas down, because holy fuck. Yeah, I'm fucking with you guys. No, and what Jack did and what Steve did is exactly what a lot of people whine about Media Matters do when they take people in Fox out of context and all that kind of stuff. And it's a game. It's a fucking game. It's who can deceive people the fucking most. And that's what they do. And it's all for likes, retweets, and stories. And to, I don't know, try to dunk on the other side or some shit. But it's getting harder and harder to figure out where you can get like honest reporting from, because you can't get it from cable news. That's for sure. We've known now you can't get it from the New York Times or Washington Post. You really can't get it from Daily Caller or from Fox and stuff like that. Yeah, there are like, don't get me wrong. Of course, there are good reporters that report on these on these beats and in these institutions and stuff. But the main overall thing is that it's left against right, and they lie to you constantly, and they lie to you for politicians. Like, it's so disgusting. That's how disgusting it is. Who the fuck will lie for a politician? That's my question.
Yeah, the thing is, though,
dirty journalists.
We bring all this up because obviously the one thing that they're restricting obviously are like gatherings of more than like 8 or 10 people. And I was seeing video of, I think, patrols out in New York City with like binoculars looking up into people's like
apartments and stuff.
Apartment buildings to see whether they were observing or following the protocol. Like, this is Orwellian type shit right here.
Oh, for sure. And we saw a little taste of it, of how New York, and especially New York City, treated Orthodox Jews when they were doing, their different religious things. Look, like, if my whole thing is, we're fucking adults. All right. If somebody wants to go out and enjoy some type of festivity, the reason why the United States of America was formed is because we could go and do that shit, be it for religious purposes or for whatever. They're adults. 80-year-old people are adults too. Why are we coddling them so fucking drastically is beyond me, to the point where, you can only have no more than 10 people at your own fucking house. What are you going to do? You're going to get the sheriff, have him come over to my house and arrest me? To me, that's getting out of hand. I mean, closing down malls, closing down museums and zoos and parks and stuff, that's fine. But now it's going a little bit fucking overboard. Yeah. And they're not even listening to science, because they're closing schools down and they're doing stupid shit. And it makes no sense, the different kind of policies and restrictions that they're putting out.
Yeah, and it just, if we bring it back to this, because this is exactly the type of shit that everyone is so angry about and no one seems to be getting, is the fact that you have politicians and medical officials going out as if nothing has changed in the middle of the pandemic, while also clamping down on everyone else's, not right to live, but their livelihoods and their daily routines. And it's it's maddening. And also on top of that, you're not getting any COVID relief from out of Washington. Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell only starting to talk after like not talking, but it's just it's upsetting. But on the bright side,
and then you had the New Yorker write out, or was it a New Yorker journalist? I forget, maybe political journalist. Somebody was talking about how Nancy Pelosi was like the only person that can like outwit McConnell, and she showed this throughout this whole mess. And it's just mind-boggling to me that anyone could actually think that that's a justifiable opinion of what was going on, especially with the results of like a bunch of these house seats flipping.
Yeah. BC Thomas says, I just applied to the New York Building Commission for a job as Jew Peeping Tom. Fingers crossed for Gal Gadot's apartment. God, BC, you must be like spying on me right now, because I literally was just going to say that at least on the upside, we'll have Wonder Woman 1984 coming out on Christmas Day. So,
shit.
How are you not in this room with me right now? Jesus, he's probably just screen watching right now.
Well, maybe he's the police to the Jew police of your wife, but is just watching you instead.
Nate Beebe, thank you. Our country has collective lockdown fatigue. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Any attempt at second lockdowns will likely fail. People are done. It's true. Also, the fact that you had so many people out and about when the media outlets called Joe Biden winning the presidency over Donald Trump, everyone just looked at it and said, I guess the pandemic's over.
Right.
So,
and no snarky tweets from the adult over at CNN, Jake Tapper. He likes to call himself the fucking adult that goes into a break room all by himself and wears a mask to make coffee. Yeah, good job, you fucking adult. And then he's like, yeah, praising Philly. It's like, this is my people. Yeah, your people are trash, garbage. We know you're trash, garbage. That's why you're from Philly. But
oh, Jesus.
And it's funny because it's the same thing. Like with the dinner, you had these health officials or administrators, whatever, doing that, and then you also have the health officials saying you can't have 10 people at a fucking Thanksgiving party, but they were saying you can have hundreds of thousands of people out marching side by side and twerking on top of each other on the streets of Chicago, and that's totally okay.
Yeah, the constant back and forth is truly maddening, and I've gotten so tired of it, and I just stopped engaging in it because literally every single time there is a public gathering, like say at the White House lawn, and we had like the GOP convention or ACB's nomination to the Supreme Court, the focus from the White House press corps was always on, hey, nobody's wearing masks and all these people are gathering together, and then completely ignore everything that's happening outside. Be like the protests outside the White House, or protests around the country in favor of Black Lives Matter, or any form of racial justice. And just the level of consistency has just driven me in particular insane, because when you see this stuff happening, you would expect people in the media to call it out regardless of what it's advocating for. It's violating COVID protocol against obviously social distancing and mask wearing. And like when you're going to these protests, you could see images and videos of people like having their face diaper over their chin. So it just drives me nuts. But anyways, we gotta move on.
Shouting and yelling at each other and stuff.
Yeah, like spitting in each other's faces, hocking loogies in each other's mouths. The stuff that Jay loves to do, the Fuzzy's mom.
Well, to her ass. Let's get that right.
Anyways, let's move on to Weekly Jihad, because there actually has been quite a bit of election news, at least with the aftermath. And the most important, obviously, is that the Krasenstein leaving Twitter.
No way.
Guys,
what?
Earlier today, Mrs. Krasenstein announced in a thread, and I actually didn't read the thread, but I imagine that's exactly what it is that they're talking about. But it just starts off with farewell, everyone, and that's exactly where I stopped reading.
Good fucking bye.
But it goes on to say that my mission here, as well as my husband's and brother-in-law's, Brian and Ed Krasenstein, which, by the way, we finally found out which brother she's married to. But if we were to see both of them next to each other, we wouldn't be able to identify which one they're married to. So she's married to Brian, and Ed is her brother-in-law. And again, I can't tell who. I
didn't even know what their first names were.
Boom, retweet. Anyways, they were like, we defeated Trump, and therefore our job is done. The Krasensteins did next to fucking nothing to beat Trump. Like, they did that sex cartoon for for Robert Mueller.
For Robert Mueller. So they did that. There was something that they did. And
it's just amazing. Look at that engagement, 27,000 likes. I mean, I look at that and think, who is legitimately, earnestly liking this?
Probably people like Jake Tapper. Did you see his tweet about how they were talking about, it was Esquire that was talking about how CNN weathered the storm. I got a screen
grab of that, thankfully, before he deleted it. But
he retweeted it again.
But he didn't include the word survive that time. But still, like, it's that type of self-aggrandizing that people just hate. Like, you're a member of the media, like
in the United States of America. It's not like you're being thrown in
jail. I would kill for that kind of gig. You realize that type of influence that, you know, he may not have as much influence now, but like, you know, getting nationwide attention and that type of paycheck, like that's the career trajectory I was trying to go on. Of course, you know, COVID happened, and now I find myself, you know, in the sewer with you hooligans. I'm kidding. So no, the thing is, I'm actually really glad I'm not going down that route, and I actually look at it in a way just on a sort of a tangent. Is that
how much dick you would have to suck in order?
Dick would have to suck. The thing is, I know
have to lose your integrity. Like,
as soon as I start working for one of these big corporations, I'm no longer my voice. I am the voice of all the corporations that are paying me. So the fact that we're here on YouTube and the fact that, you know, we get on Twitch and we talk our shit, there's only a certain limit that we can go to. And before we end up getting censored, and big tech censorship is real. But before we get into obviously big tech, the other election news that we want to kind of focus on is that the CISA director, the cyber security official, the director of CISA, I don't know what's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, which is a subset of the Department of Homeland Security. Chris Krebs, he was fired by President Trump on Tuesday night, and he's responsible for securing the presidential election, but he systematically disputed Trump's declarations over saying that the presidency was stolen from him through fraudulent ballots and software glitches that changed millions of votes. And Trump made this announcement on Twitter, the same way he fired Defense Secretary Mark Esper, and then promoted. I'm trying to remember the dude's name who took the acting post as Secretary of Defense, but we'll get to that in a minute. But this is interesting to me because he's now already verified on Twitter, Chris Krebs, and he's starting to get, you know, the notoriety of the resistance. And I feel like this may, if this is indeed the last, you know, hurrah for Trump's administration, barring that he runs in 2024 and wins, which is a real likelihood. This could be the last Trump administration official who sort of joins the resistance and saying, Mr. Trump, Mr. President, sir, like, you're wrong. And then they become a sacrificial lamb. I guess there's not really much of a take on it so much as like Trump obviously isn't backing down.
Right.
And I don't know if that doing this is indicative of anything in particular, but it's really just saying that any indication he was, if he was suggesting anything about like Joe Biden winning, which he kind of did in a tweet earlier this week saying like Biden won. And like I stopped reading after that.
He won.
Biden won, and that's it. It's to me, I don't know. I can't see. I could just see him continue until like he is thoroughly defeated in the electoral college. I don't think this is going away.
No, it won't. It doesn't do that. I mean, he's gonna go through every avenue he can. Everything can be disputed until it absolutely cannot. And anyone would do that. Anyone would do that. How long was the Bush and Gore? How long did that go on for?
That went. No, then go for a full year. Come on, that's that.
No,
that
I said
ended
after January.
That ended like a month after the election.
A month after the election? Yeah, it was like 40 days or something, right?
Let's find out.
I think it was a little bit longer. 37 days from Mickey White. But yeah, Trump is not going to go anywhere until the very, very, very end. Until
December. Yeah, it was December 12th. It was decided.
So
that's I guess I don't even know what day election day was in 2000, but I assume it was what God.
This is going 69
November
days.
7th. November
Nice.
7th, yeah.
Nice, Mitch. 69 days. No, I think this is going to go all the way down till fucking January.
Possible. I don't know. Anyways.
But it's so funny. No, I mean,
no, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say that it's really, really funny how you're not allowed to say anything, question the votes, question the integrity of the election. But 4 years ago, you could just say that Putin came right into a voting booth, changed the votes of hundreds of thousands of people, and run that narrative for 4 years, and you get book deals and sign on to CNN and considered like you're actually giving off the news. And it's just funny to me that switch can flip so easily for these people, and the other way around too. Now it's like all election fraud and all this kind of shit. When 4 years ago they were saying like, no, it's all like everything's very integrity and all this kind of bullshit. So it's funny to see how fast people flip.
So here's the thing. So there are a couple of stories real quick, just want to highlight before I get to the real point here. And that is in Wayne County, Michigan, which is the county that Detroit is housed in. They initially, their election officials, part of the Wayne County, I believe, election board, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. They initially deadlocked and on certifying the vote in Wayne County. Obviously, this is a heavy Democratic district or heavy Democratic county, and they deadlocked at 2-2. And then later on that evening, they voted unanimously 4-0 to certify the vote, reversing what was originally considered a big Trump win. And you saw like Jenna Ellis, one of Trump's Trump campaign attorneys, saying like how huge of a victory this is going to be for Trump, because they initially said that they were worried about the voting irregularities, and then they wanted to get like basically an overview or more oversight on it, but still certified the vote. Without that, though, I don't think they would have certified the vote in the state. Obviously, there's still time for anything to happen. I mean, look, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, they ended up reversing a Trump legal victory, where they ruled that GOP election observers were not improperly prevented from watching ballot counting in Philadelphia, and that initially, because of COVID, what they did in Philadelphia is they made election observers or poll watchers stand like 20 feet away from ballot counters. And then they filed this lawsuit. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court gave them a dub and said, actually, it should be moved to 6 feet. so where they can observe. And then just in the last day, they reversed it back to 20 feet. So things aren't going well with the Trump campaign in court. And ultimately, Rudy Giuliani, the former New York City mayor, as well as the personal attorney of President Trump, he has been representing the Trump campaign in a case in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, which is like really in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of the state. I think that's where they actually hold the Little League World Series, if I'm not mistaken. But they're pressing a lawsuit against us to basically prevent the election results from being certified. And having done the research on this, they are doing the same type of lawsuit in Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Michigan. With those three states in particular, we have 20 electoral votes in Pennsylvania, and then 16 electoral votes in both Georgia and Michigan. Of course, Georgia hasn't really been called by the Associated Press. Some other outlets, I think NBC News called Georgia for Biden. But he's like leading by like 14,000 votes with most of the vote in. They're doing a
recount.
Yeah, they're doing a recount. But if you're wondering what, I have a video coming out about this for the Examiner in about a week, but I'll basically give you the quick and dirty. The play here is that they are trying to prevent the election results from being certified, because if they do, then the state legislatures can't go forward with deciding and picking their electors to send to the Electoral College for the December 14th vote. And what right now, if results hold as is, Biden gets 306 electoral votes, seeing as if he gets every single elector to vote for him. Now, if he loses all three of those because the states abstain because their election results aren't certified, his electoral vote tally goes down to 254. So it wouldn't go in the Trump win column. It would just be removed from the Biden win column. And this is why it matters. This is the play that the Trump campaign is after. They're trying to send the shit to the House. You don't get a 269 tie, but if you look back to like the 1800 election as well as the 1824 election, those are the only other two elections in which a president was selected by the House. And it matters because that's when the momentum swings immensely in Trump's direction. The likelihood of this is very small because Biden, you would have to have all three states abstain and not certify their votes.
Right.
Already with Michigan and Wayne County certifying their votes, that is a huge win for Biden because he just needs one. He needs Michigan or Georgia at the very least. Pennsylvania would be a nice stuff for him too, but he would be 16 electoral votes shy of the 270 vote majority. So I say that because it matters in the House. It doesn't matter if you have a majority or not. It matters if your state House delegation controls more states. And at the moment, Republicans control 26 states. And there's a few more up for grabs. So every state gets one vote. So it doesn't matter if like California, if 42 out of 53 seats are held by Democrats, they only get one vote. So when they go and vote in the House, it's representative of the entire state delegation and not of. So like they do internal voting, you could get a situation where you get a Republican voting for a Democrat or a Democrat voting for a Republican. Hardly unlikely for the latter, but all of a sudden you just need 26 votes in order to become president, and Trump basically would already have that in the bag. So it's a Hail Mary. It would be a Hail Mary and then some. But that is essentially
if this happened, I'm telling you, if this happened and they were able to flip it just like that, the amount of burning that will happen in cities is mind-boggling. It would be like nothing we've ever seen before. They would probably try to raid the White House. I'm not even joking. Like they would.
You mean the libs?
Yeah, there would be some
Antifa?
like really, really, really weird ass, not weird ass, but like there would be like some really big Arab Spring energy happening within Antifa camp and shit like that. That would go through with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, we had the Million MAGA March this past weekend, and just chaos, going everywhere. We got a bunch of clips and shit. I'll just play a couple just because you
clips and shit.
Clips and shit. The reason why this is only a big deal is because, well, fuck it. Let's just play those clips. God damn. So that's one. That is like literally a block, like 2 blocks away from my office in DC. I've gone to eat there on my birthday, on like the very first year that I was working for the Examiner. Then you have some more stuff. This is all from Julio, by the way. This that first clip. This one. Sorry, for added context there, that was them protecting a hotel that is actually much closer to my office. It's literally across the street from where they're throwing that firework. But then you have like, what's wild is
who's doing these videos?
That was Julio. That was Julio Roses. Julio.
I'm actually gonna. He's actually here in town. I'm gonna go take him out to some authentic Mexican food. I'm taking him to Taco Bell, like right around the corner.
And he should take you to get some authentic Arab food at Chipotle.
What? How's Chipotle authentic Arab food?
Because it makes you shit just as much, right?
That's Mexican food. Arab food. Depending on where you go and eat Arab food.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is over on the East Coast, but over here on the West Coast, it's just a shit. Unless you're eating like real authentic Arab food, like from my grandmother's grave. It's good. ISIS garbage. Hummus and Lebanon.
Hummus. Anyways, but like the thing is, you had the police intervene, but there were like a lot of times in which like it was just instigated violence on both sides. Like it was just messy.
Put that shit away. Hey, Blade.
Oh, that shit's tough to watch. There was more fighting,
and that was a woman. That was a black woman.
That was a black woman getting hit right in the fucking head. It's terrible.
With another helmet for having an American flag.
Yeah, I think she was actually part of BLM though. I don't know if she took someone else's flag, but regardless, like, never hit someone in the head, let alone.
No, it doesn't matter. That was completely fucking disgusting.
Yeah, and there was more fighting. You get the idea. It's all just fucking garbage, and we're looking. We're through the looking glass right now. Like, there's no point of return. I can't see a situation where people aren't going to be out in the streets trying to attack each other. Like, Biden's not bringing back, this form of normalcy or unity or what have you.
Oh, fuck no. And he didn't even mention anything after all of this stuff that happened. Nobody mentioned anything about it. And Brian Stelter, the fucking disgusting motherfucker. If you saw his tweet about like, what are you angry on Twitter on right wing, showing out of context violence or blah 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 blah, and you just know that these people are so full of shit that to call them journalists, I swear to God, it shits on people like you.
And yeah, but we should shit on Julio because he only hopped in here because he said, I heard I was mentioned. Only tuning in when he's mentioned.
That's it. Wow.
What a little bitch. And he says, LMAO, oh, Saturday night was lit. And yeah, it's me. But yeah. Oh, whoa. Sorry, I was busy with y'all's moms.
Nice.
I mean, this is Julio's bread and butter. He goes out and covers these protests. I find it interesting though, like, it's without these protests, what would Julio do with his life? It's like the resistance. Like, Trump is no longer in office. What are they going to do with their lives?
Nothing. Hopefully, just jump off something. I don't know. Like these people, they were useless. They were useless then, and they're useless now.
Yeah. Well, since he says he's here to see the urn, I'm gonna go get him right now.
Go for it. Also, my new microphone just got delivered. I'm looking at the tracking.
Well, don't look it up right now.
No, man, I'm gonna wait.
Yeah. Anyways, when I get back, we'll answer some Habibi questions. We get to a few more stories, and then we got a very special announcement. Well, not announcement, but like we got a very cool segment we got coming up. So it's just don't fall asleep on us, is what I'm saying.
Yes, that's exactly what's being said. I can answer some of your questions, I think. Let's see. He still doesn't give me the right to do anything here. Your king is coming, Janice. He probably does, Mitch. Well, I mean, if that's what you want, Kimmy, if you want Siraj to pull off a Tubin, I'm pretty sure that we can convince him to do it. As long as we say that it's going to make him famous, he'll do it. No, Ernal, I will not be going on Twitch later on today. I will be. I'll try to get on Twitch on Friday. I would love for I would love. I know it'll never happen, but like a Scott Haley, Tim Scott and Nikki Haley 2024. Holy shit! Nothing will make me come harder.
Here he is.
Anthony, I do think of moving out of Cali. Absolutely. This place is a fucking shithole. How does the election end? With nobody happy. Everyone will be sad. No one will be happy.
Good. Because the only one who deserves happiness is this little boy right here.
The king
who is actually our president-elect.
Mm-hmm. Our real president.
Our real, true president. Isn't that right, buddy?
Yeah. Caliphate.
Our
ultimate leader. Ern.
So, he is. So Ernie has been very good. We've been going on walks almost every day. Mm-hmm. He's been on a very strict diet, and he's looking much better. And also, I'd say feeling much better.
He looks like he's down a couple of pounds.
Oh, his paw's stuck in my shirt. There we go.
I'm sure it's more than a couple of pounds that he got.
Yeah,
down.
no, I think the diet's going well for him. There we go. Get him going on those hands. He needs them salt licks. So let's see. All right. So as we continue on, the next thing that's really big is this Georgia Senate runoff. We got 2 Senate races. David Perdue, Republican incumbent, going up against John Ossoff, and barring a recount that gives him 50% or more of the vote, there will be a runoff on January 5th, 2021. And then in the other race, you have Kelly Loeffler going up against, who's the incumbent Republican, going up against Raphael Warnock, a Reverend Democrat. The one thing though that really stuck out, and this is I'd say a story that was dropped in the last like day or two, and this is a video that was uncovered from 2011 by the Washington Free Beacon. Let me just go ahead and play it, and let me get rid of the earn time, because people watching it, like, why is earn time there? Anyways, here you go.
America, nobody can serve God and the military. You can't serve God and money. You cannot serve God and mammon at the same time. America, choose ye this day whom you will serve. Choose ye this day.
So that clip was sort of circulated a bit by Marco Rubio, and I'm going to find it right now, because he was getting ratioed and dogpiled for putting out that clip. And look, Jay, you and I are both not experts in terms of biblical matters or scripture,
Right.
But I bring this up because the very first thing that I see in response to this clip is, and let me pull it up right here. So here's Marco Rubio's tweet saying, "Not shocked, Georgia Democrat Senate candidate Raphael Warnock said you cannot serve God and the military at the same time. These and even crazier things is what the radicals who control the Democratic Party's activists and small dollar donor base believe." And then you have Hawaii Senator Brian Schatz, who shats his pants almost on every occasion, saying, "I'm not a very religious person, but isn't this from scripture?" And then he goes on and says, "Hey, I just Googled it, and it appears to be from Matthew 6:24. If you want to attack the Reverend on his policy views, fine, but this is a low blow." So it's okay. So this brings up a weird, like, sort of dynamic, because that's not, from what I understand, that is not all what Matthew 6:24 says. It doesn't even mention military.
Right.
It says you can't like serve God and man at the same time, in the sense of worshiping God and man, or worshiping like the worldly gains or worldly pleasures. Like it's a very common theme in monotheistic religions like Judaism and Islam. And I don't know where Warnock comes out with this idea that serving is done in the sense of serving in the military versus serving God. Like they're two entirely different interpretations of the word serve. And Warnock has just taken it tremendously out of context. And as a result, now you have this little battle in and of itself, that you cannot attack Reverend Raphael Warnock for his faith, because people were getting denounced for attacking Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett for her faith. And you get this little article here from Esquire with the headline that says, "Amy Coney Barrett's faith off limits, Raphael Warnock's fair game." It's stupid for one reason, and that is the attacks on people's faith is not about like you're having a theological debate. Basically saying that Warnock had misinterpreted or taken that verse out of context, and he is a reverend and should know that difference. Yet when it comes to Amy Coney Barrett, there wasn't really a theological debate. It was people attacking her for being Catholic straight up.
They were basically saying, this is what she believes, this is what she wants to do, this is what her faith is telling her to do, and all this kind of stuff. And and Sam Steen, or Stein, or wherever the fuck that piece of shit's name is, was also very, very one of the first ones to say some stupid shit like that. And they say these kind of things on purpose. They do this because it's a game. They want to make themselves feel like they were right to attack ACB the way that they did. If you go and look at the Daily Beast, the publication that this piece of shit is a part of, and the way that they reported on ACB compared to the way that some people tweeted about how he was misinterpreting it or whatever, it's just so very night and day. Like, they are coming up and saying that ACB wants to enslave women, make sure that they only stay in the kitchen and birth babies.
Like the handmaids, like, and that was just based off of Catholic group she was a part of, in which they were trying to promote like love and community. And like, look, if you're not religious and you find that shit weird, then that's fine. You have a right to that opinion. And there are a lot of people who are not religious who think religious people are weird. But like, this is not an attack on Warnock's faith. This is a debate about what that particular verse means. And since he's a reverend, he should have the ability to delineate between those two interpretations of the word serve. Of course, like every single, chaplain, rabbi, imam, priest, what have you, interprets God and faith differently. You're never going to get the same uniform interpretation. Maybe in Catholicism you get maybe a little bit more uniform because there's an actual catechism, but but even then, like, Catholics still diverge on many different ideas, like abortion and gay marriage and stuff like that. I mean, just look at Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, for example. Even though they're not religious scholars or religious leaders, they are supposedly devout Catholics. Of course, I'm sure a lot of conservative Catholics would disagree that they are practicing Catholics, but they claim to be Catholics, so therefore they're Catholic. It's the same way in which, and I had struggled with this because I initially thought about, when radical Muslims or radical Islamic extremists claim to be Muslim, and then commit a horrific act of terror against, say, Jews or Christians or Westerners or just anyone, women, children, what have you, and then say that they're doing it in the name of Allah, it would obviously cause a lot of resentment in me. They would claim to be Muslim, sort of like come to the realization that they are. I can't deny them that I can't deny that I cannot deny their claim that they're Muslim. They do things in the name of Islam, but it should be outrightly rejected and condemned and shunned and never be allowed to, be considered normal by any stretch of the matter.
Right. And the same people, and Anthony brings up a good point, because as we're going into talking about people's faith and stuff, they wrote an article about how Cawthorn was talking about
Cawthorn, the youngest now member of youngest person to be elected to Congress.
Yes. And they're trying really hard on this guy. Like, they're really, really trying hard as fuck to smear him any other way that they can. And to the point of where they're saying that him talking about going to convert people is anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
That he wants to go and convert Jews and or convert anyone that he goes and talks to and stuff like that. And it's like, do people not understand what religion or what some religious people do, especially Christians? It's not
I mean, like, proselytization is a real thing. I mean,
right.
Islam is a very fast-growing religion, not because of the birth rate, but because people are converting en masse.
And also one guy fucks 4 women, so there's like that too. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, it's like that. You see them on the streets, and they were in parks in Oklahoma when I was growing up, and they're you see videos of Muslims. Even last time when I was
Hold on, Habibis, we're 69 minutes into the stream. Nice.
Even when I was down in San Diego, and I was walking through one of the gardens and stuff, you had Muslims like up with booklets and stuff, asking if they can come and talk about Islam, trying to convert people and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and like that's not considered like Christian or anti-Semitic. Like, it is, they are just very pro-Islam. They want to share that with you, And in the same way, it's very pro-Christian to have missionaries out in the field trying to convert people to Christianity. But you don't see Jewish missionaries because like Jews don't really proselytize. I mean, the people can convert, but there's a very, very hard process to go through to convert to Judaism. And I'm sure, you know, Faye and any of the other Habibis in the chat can probably attest to that, especially if you want to convert to, say, Orthodox Judaism. So, I mean, I don't know what it takes, obviously, to convert to Judaism, but I went to a intro to Judaism course with my wife earlier this year before COVID struck. And I was sort of just learning about, you know, about the Old Testament, about the Jewish faith in more detail. And not that I'm converting, but because obviously Emily and I are going to be, you know, having kids eventually one day.
Wait,
but we'll say this.
You can have sex?
What?
You can have sex?
No, I still can't.
Okay, I didn't think so. I mean, we were talking about that thing you had.
Yeah, no. The thing I don't have is a penis.
Well, that I was just for your sake, bro.
So I think we'll see this drawn out because we have at least another month and a half before the Georgia Senate runoff wraps up. But I don't know if this is going to be a fight that Democrats will win just on the religious aspect. We'll see if they win on the actual election because it's not like Kelly Loeffler or David Perdue are very popular. I mean, Loeffler is married to the president and CEO of the New York Stock Exchange. And if you recall earlier this year, she and her husband were basically under investigation by the FBI for some level of inside trading in relation to stocks being sold before the pandemic hit. And there was obviously like briefings that were showing that, you know, they were going to possibly sell stuff. But Loeffler and her husband are so rich that it was literally like selling like a couple dollars worth of stock to them. Richard Burr, though, who the North Carolina senator, who's not going to be running in 2022, he has a lot bigger problems. Anyways, moving on, we got the Pentagon announcing this week they're pulling out troops out of Afghanistan to the lowest level since when the United States invaded Afghanistan in 2001, down to like 2,500 troops. And this has gotten like almost no traction. There's a big story. Like this is the type of stuff that we wanted, like Obama, who campaigned on it, to do.
Yeah, it was one of his big campaign lies. One of his big campaign lies was getting out of Afghanistan. And
yeah, it never ended up. The military-industrial complex ended up getting to Obama. He was not the change maker that he said he was going to be, and they obviously increasing troops. And whoa, Carlos coming through with a fucking windmill. Pentagon's pullout game is about as weak as your mom's, Siraj. Oh my God. God damn. So it was, you know, we bring that up because with the Pentagon, this is objectively good news. We don't want America's men and women serving our country to be put in harm's way. And in Afghanistan, with this tentative deal that's currently in place between the United States and the Taliban, you know, this is as good as we're going to get. There's no point in staying there. So with that, because we brought up Obama, he's been making the rounds because of his autobiography called Promised Land. And he did an interview on 60 Minutes this past Sunday.
What is your advice in this moment for President Trump?
Well, a president is a public servant. They are temporary occupants of the office by design. And when your time is up, then it is your job to put the country first and think beyond your own ego and your own interests and your own disappointments. My advice to President Trump is if you want, at this late stage in the game, to be remembered as somebody who put country first, it's time for you to do the same thing.
In your view, it is time for him to concede?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I think it was time for him to concede probably the day after the election, or at the latest 2 days after the election. When you look at the numbers objectively, Joe Biden will have won handily. There is no scenario in which any of those states would turn the other way, and certainly not enough to reverse the outcome of the election.
Okay, so I feel like the last part about that is interesting because I feel like Obama is opening up the seventh seal, and the same way that the Krassenstein, Mrs. Krassenstein, i.e. Brian and Ed Krassenstein, are opening up the seventh seal by saying there's no possible way that Trump wins, and boom, all of a sudden he gets those. They get those states, the vote certified. Or I'm sorry, the three states I just mentioned: Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. They throw out the certification on those votes, and boom, it ends up going to the House, and Trump wins re-election.
It's gonna happen. It's like his stupid fucking dinner too.
Yeah,
when he's like when they were roasting him really, really hard at his stupid fucking tweet too.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the thing is like the Jimmy Kimmel segment of like
mean tweets.
Yeah, mean tweets, and Obama's reading a mean tweet from Trump, and he says, "At least I get to be president," and boom, Trump won, and that's the entire thing I'm thinking of. But this is what I wanted to bring, and this is the. I mean, he puts this out. Reading music has always played an important role in my life, and that was especially true during my presidency. In honor of my book hitting shelves tomorrow, I put together this playlist featuring some memorable songs from my administration. Hope you enjoy it. And it's got things like Beyonce, Jay-Z, Fleetwood Mac, Gloria Estefan, U2, the Beatles, Eminem. He doesn't listen to any of these motherfuckers. Maybe Jay-Z and Beyonce, maybe B.B. King. I mean, like, he's an older guy. Aretha Franklin, I'll give him. No way he listens to U2 or Bruce Springsteen. I mean, the guy's such a boomer.
There's no way.
No way. There's no way. Anyways, every time I saw that, and I had a pretty spicy tweet.
You had a really good tweet.
Now I gotta go find it. Let me take this off as I go find it. But it was one of those things where, like,
it was so good.
It's just so like, how do you do, fellow kids? That type of energy that I was like, oh, I gotta dunk on them for this. This is too good of an opportunity to miss. What was that, on the 16th? Today's the 18th, so it was Monday. Where is it? It's coming up here. There we go. I wrote, interesting choice to leave off Beyonce's Single Ladies, as that is what his administration produced the most of from all the drone strikes. So
that was a good one.
Thank you.
That was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. Did some good numbers to,
No, not too bad.
Only has 68 quote tweets. So one of the Habibis got a quote tweet that to get it to 69. Make it nice.
Make it real nice.
So, yeah, I feel like Obama's really been just waiting to get back into the public because I think he realizes he doesn't put up a good fight against Trump. And because, like, despite what you think about Obama's ego, like, he does keep it relatively classy. Like, he doesn't get into, like, that's the thing, and that's why he probably can't go toe to toe with Trump, because Trump will just, like, completely fuck him up. And I feel like Obama's just been holding back, waiting to come back into the spotlight. And this was like this first opportunity to do so.
I don't know. I mean, there was other instances where he came out as well, but not as much as this. That's right. Like, not as big as a whole 60-minute interview like this.
But anyways, I think what's interesting, besides Obama, I mean, like, you had a pretty significant big tech hearing in the Senate Judiciary Committee. It was we highlighted earlier that Dianne Feinstein was not wearing a mask, and where is it? I'm looking for, but the main thing, I think I have a clip here I actually want to play, and this is from Hawaii Senator Mazie Hirono, the other senator from Hawaii who's not named Brian Schatz. Here you go.
Beat you up over claims that your platforms are supposedly biased against conservatives. The fact of the matter is that these allegations are completely baseless. Everyone who has systematically looked at the content of social media, from Media Matters to the Cato Institute to former Republican Senator John Kyle, has found absolutely no evidence of anti-conservative bias. And data from CrowdTangle show that far-right content from the likes of Fox News, Ben Shapiro, David Bongino dominates the daily top 10 most engaged pages on Facebook. So all of these allegations about the fact that you hire or all of your employees are left of center is relevant of nothing.
Sorry, I can't handle anymore of Mazie Hirono.
It's
He is
so
literally one of the dumbest senators currently occupying an office. It shows you that literally anyone can become a senator.
Well, yeah, anyone could. I mean, I hate listening to her all the fucking time.
So
I can't
bad.
fucking stand it. And I love how she quotes like Media Matters on there. It's
I mean, fucking Media Matters of all places.
So beautiful.
I mean, she's the best at fundraising for the Republicans, and it drives me nuts to hear her speak because
so
everything
bad.
she says is just the dumbest. And she had her breakout during the Kavanaugh hearings, and that's when I really realized, wow, this person's an actual senator. We got a really fucked up system. Like Mazie Hirono makes me want to abolish the Senate.
Right. Just get rid of it and completely.
Get rid of it.
Then you realize for every dumb senator, there is like 5 or even 10 dumb shit fuck Congress people in the House.
Oh, dude, perfect. So absolutely. Totally agree with you on that.
It's so fucking hard it's a balancing act. It's all politicians are stupid. We should just abolish it all and earn your king and everything. And we can also, there was this one article as we go on from the Atlantic about the Down syndrome. And I don't know if you saw it. Basically making the case for us to implement kind of like what Iceland has, where you automatically abort any fetus that comes to show to have Down syndrome, even though those tests aren't 100% accurate themselves, essentially. And it's just very, very, very sad, and I think very sick, especially when you have people who either people who have Down syndrome, be it a family member or somebody has a family member with Down syndrome. It's not. It's a very, very disgusting thing to advocate.
Yeah,
and it's basically eugenics,
and it is eugenics, 100%,
essentially. And it's just sick.
That's it. I mean, like there are so many people who have been able to lead functioning lives with Downs, and it's just it's sad to see that there are so many people out there who don't view them or give them value or view them as humans. I mean, that's how dehumanization starts. I mean, eugenics, as you said, it's only a matter of time before they try to eradicate anyone with Downs. I mean, look, it may be a genetic, a developmental disorder, or whatever you want to call it. I don't even think I even feel like disorder is too harsh given how PC society has gotten, but it is. I mean, developmental disorder with your chromosomes, and but like, even if that happens, I mean, like, they're still human beings like you and me, and it's fucking infuriating to have to say that in 2020. But yeah, anyways, I want to also highlight another story before we get to our special segment at the end of this. And we're actually doing pretty well on time. And that is basically the story from Vice, and that is the U.S. military is buying location data and a bunch of other personal data from people using ordinary apps. One app in particular is called Muslim Pro. It is a Muslim prayer and Quran app that has 98 million downloads worldwide. And this is like some TikTok type of spying with the Chinese Communist Party. And it's gotten zero traction on like the mainstream level. It is absolutely insane. And before I go to you, just want to highlight this comment from BC Thomas, since he submitted a super chat. Thank you, BC. It's not shocking coming from The Atlantic. That's the most evil publication in U.S. history. It's the sole reason the U.S. went to World War I. That I did not know, but I'm going to look into that. But yeah, Jay, I mean, I've never used Muslim Pro. I don't know if you've used it, but it feels like the Patriot Act all over again.
Right. No, I've never used it. I've never even heard about it until now, and that's exactly what it's sounding like. It's disgusting in so many different levels, especially to see it come from that side. Like, you're not supposed to think that something like that would ever be used against you in that way, and for them to do it specifically on an Islamic app and stuff is it's sickening.
Yeah, it's gross.
It really, really is. It's very, very sickening.
Yeah. Anyways, Habibis, let's answer some of your questions. I'm gonna go pee real quick, and you're just gonna get Earn Camp for a second while I go pee.
Okay.
And then we'll do our special segment. So here's Earn.
Yes, Imran, I am, for all those Muslim mothers.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Earn. What's going on, doggo? I still can't believe I haven't met you yet. Yeah, questions, whatever you guys want to say. Whatever you guys want to ask. No, I didn't see Zuck. Oh yeah, I read about it. How Facebook does track you all over everywhere. I mean, it is insane. All of the ways that they can track you, and not only them, but Google, Twitter, Instagram, every single one. It's salmon. It's a salmon colored shirt. You reward her, Michael, with 72 virgins. No Thanksgiving plans as of yet. Usually we go over to my girlfriend's mother's place, but I don't think I'm going to be doing anything anything like that yet. DC should never achieve statehood, ever. Never, ever. It's not. No. Look, Fuzzy, God made me 5'4" for the specific reason so I can stand and eat your mom's ass at the same time. Earn. There you go. There you are, doggo. Right here, Earn.
Hey, bud.
Yeah, and salmon is also the color of this shirt.
What's that?
No, everybody thinks every time people look up from the screen and they see me, they think I'm naked because of my shirt.
Ooh, yeah.
I was naked before I got on air too. I was sending.
Oh, yeah, he did send me. He sent me
naked shots.
Yeah. I'm just lubing up here. I'm lubing these hands up. So, okay. Let's see here. Okay, so we got, and let me type out this banner here, because I already typed it out. Habibis, I am pleased to bring not the Earn. Earn is already here, but the Worst Mayor in America tournament. It is not going to be a long tournament because let's be honest, there are not a whole lot of mayors in America who are just absolutely horrible. But there will be like a good debate to be had of who is the worst mayor in America. So
Yes,
I figured tonight was a good time to at least unveil the bracket that we're gonna do, and I'll do online polling on Twitter, Ernie Sit, and we'll just go through it. So let's go ahead and I'll show you this bracket. Well, let's zoom in a little bit more. And do you want to start off with the lowest seeds and then go up to the top?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, let's do that. Okay, so at the lowest level, and why can't I see the text? All right, here we go. We got Lovely Warren from Rochester. Now, for those who are not familiar with Lovely Warren, she was presiding over the city during the Black Lives Matter and Antifa riots. Trump called out her city, and Warren's retort was to ignore the president and instead praise the spirit of the riots, and basically was trying to sow more division. So you have that. Then let's see, what's the next one on the list? Why can I hit? Why are you? Do you want to get down there? All right, he's getting down. Let him chill out. So Lovely Warren right now, currently at the number 8. Number 7, I have. Are you playing a game right now?
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm on Twitter as well. LB just sent off a really funny tweet.
Oh, good. Okay. The next up we have at number 7 is John. I want to say, how do you say that? How do you think you say that?
Antramania.
Antramania?
Antraman.
I want to say Antaramian.
Antaramian.
Antaramian from Kenosha. And obviously Kenosha is, very much in our memory when it comes to the riots that took place there. So going beyond that, and again, this is the TDS division. This is the Trump derangement syndrome. This is the people who hate Trump the most. Okay.
Right.
So let's keep it moving. At number 6, we got. Oh, why can't I find it? Here we go. Libby Schaaf from Oakland. Okay. Libby Schaaf is known for preventing federal immigration agents from carrying out immigration raids.
Right.
Not the worst, especially if you're very pro immigrant or pro illegal immigration. Still, she's on the list.
Yeah, I think she should be.
And then at number 5 we got no, not Font. We got Muriel Bowser, mayor of Washington, D.C.
God, she's fucking such garbage.
And Muriel Bowser. So obviously there are a lot of riots that were
because she's a woman.
Huh?
I said she's really garbage, and not because of anything, but because she's a woman.
That's because International Men's Day is tomorrow, right?
Hell, fuck yeah! Get these bitches in the kitchen.
Oh my god, we're still gonna get canceled. But everyone who there are a couple things. There are a lot of things. Obviously, Muriel Bowser has done, and I'm not a resident of DC. I just live very outside. But she had obviously sparred with Trump over a number of things, including the establishment of Black Lives Matter Plaza right outside the White House. And while that in and of itself isn't the worst, what is that she's like, let's all meet here soon, taking a photo of it and tweeting it out while everyone should be under lockdown from COVID. Just a complete, contradiction, the level of hypocrisy that we were just talking about early in the show with politicians not respecting the decrees that they put forward when it comes to COVID. And then also there was an aspect over I want to say when Biden was giving him an acceptance speech after when all the outlets called the race for him, she went up to Delaware for his acceptance speech and then played it off as essential travel. So there's that. Essentially. So she gets no love for that.
It's such they're such like the most adamant ones.
They get worse as they go on. Like, you know, the bottom, like we had, I think a lot of it's filler. Like Libby Schaff, like I don't know that much about her. I had Phoebe help me out with the research on this, but she's in there whatsoever. It could be filler. I have no idea. Let's keep going. Number 4, Lori Lightfoot of Chicago.
Oh my God.
And Lori Lightfoot, she is known. Obviously, she can't control the violence in her city. She had rejected federal help consistently, especially in the wake of all the rioting. She had a salon open to get her hair done while everybody else was told to stay home. She is just truly a horrible, horrible mayor. And she hasn't been mayor for that long. So there's that. And number 3.
It's going to be, I predict it's going to be again her against what's his name? Blasio.
All right, let's keep going. I don't know if you're right about that. And number 3, we got Keisha Lance Bottom from Atlanta. And Bottoms was actually initially, she had a very good response to the initial rioting in the George Floyd protests and riots. But she sees the spotlight with Rayshard Brooks's murder. And then the DA tried to charge Garrett Rolfe despite the fact that Brooks was acting uncooperative with the cop and tried to get away. And then on the side note, the DA, Paul Howard, is now facing corruption charges, and Bottoms has recurrently berated the president on a number of different issues. I think she might be she might be ranked a little bit too high, in my opinion. I don't think she's the worst, but again, this is why we have the tournament. So at number 2, what happened, Jay? What'd you do?
I didn't do anything. Okay. I switched over to my Pornhub tab by mistake and it kicked me out. And it was an accident. I did not mean to do that. Wow. I'm embarrassed right now.
Wow.
And now I have to go and find that video again. I was on page 137. That's how long it took me to find the video I wanted. And now I have to go back and search for it. But that's fine.
Truly having the worst 2020 out of any of us. Anyways, number 2, we have Ted Wheeler from Portland. Ted Wheeler, who everyone knows in the last year because Portland's gone to shit. Well, even more so than usual. But he's been unable to rein in the force of Antifa in his own city. He's rejected federal help. And he also decided to move his house away from a mob because the problem had been intractable. So
the problem they were throwing
they were setting off fireworks right outside his apartment building.
In his lobby.
So wild. So
that's insane.
Anyways, the number 1 seed in the TDS division. Anybody want to take any guesses?
No. Garcetti?
Yeah, why don't you guys? All right, don't you know who's putting bets on it?
The last one, the TDS. Last mayor. It can't be Blasio. He's going to be in a different.
Take a guess. It's not a governor, just a mayor. So it can't be Cuomo.
Cuomo.
I'm sorry, Cuomo. You guys done?
Yes. Who was
Bill de Blasio, number 1 seed in the TDS.
I didn't think it would have been Blasio in the TDS.
Yeah, you were right in the beginning. So anyways, let's go over to the impotent libs division. Okay, starting off with number 8, we have Bill Peduto from Pittsburgh. And for those who aren't familiar with Bill Peduto, he oversaw and did nothing to stop a BLM riot recently, and that is basically why he's even on the list. He hasn't done a whole lot otherwise. So at number 7, we have LaToya Cantrell from New Orleans. And LaToya Cantrell failed to lock down her city during the COVID crisis, and as a result, Louisiana was one of the hardest hit states from the pandemic. You have that. Number 6, there is London Breed from San Francisco. And London Breed, on top of like San Francisco being sort of a crapshoot to begin with, her district attorney, Chesa Boudin, does not prosecute the vagrancy law violations, drug crimes, and prostitution in an attempt to promote social justice. And Breed does nothing to change the matter. It's really pretty shitty if you think about it, literally and figuratively. Number 5, we have Jim Kenney from Philadelphia. For those who are not familiar with Jim Kenney, just recently he was telling President Trump to put on his big boy pants and accept the results of the election. Although besides that, he wasn't very prominent. He is notable because his let's see. In Philly, recently there was what's it called? There was riots going on because of the police shooting Walter Wallace just a week before the election. So there's that. At number 4, we have Lyda Crewson from St. Louis. Now, Lyda is actually going. She just announced today that she's going to be retiring. She's not going to run for re-election. So this is sort of like a last hurrah for her. But Lyda Crewson, basically her corrupt DA wanted to charge the McCloskey couple. Remember they were wielding them guns outside of their home and turned into instant internet memes. Basically, that she just sort of let that shit happen. Number 3, we have Eric Garcetti from Los Angeles. Now I feel like Eric Garcetti is a little bit too low, but I let it be as is because, of course, this is a very small bracket and the rankings probably don't matter as much. But Garcetti, just all in all, ass. He shut down the entire summer, closed down the beaches, had his personal Gestapo filled a skate park with sand. Even had, I don't even know if this was in his, this is the best part. He offered COVID relief to Los Angelinos by giving people a $20 discount on all parking. If they paid their bill or if they paid their fine within the first 48 hours of getting it. Talk about fucking
that shit. The fuck is that shit? It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah. I mean, say what you want about like lockdowns, because we were just talking about it with Louisiana and New Orleans and LaToya Cantrell. But I think the COVID relief, his version of COVID relief was what really lands him here. The lockdowns, I think the lockdowns, I don't know if it was by Newsom's own doing or by Garcetti. I want to say it's Garcetti because I think what they decided to do is they were going to shut off the power of any business that was open that they didn't deem necessary in the city of Los Angeles, which is a thing to do because they weren't getting any relief. So Eric Garcetti sucks. I hope he wins the whole thing, but of course I'm not the one to decide all of this. At number 2, we got Jacob Fry from Minneapolis, who, if you recall, is basically a complete loser. He could not stand up to the mob during the now infamous Black Lives Matter rally, and he was basically shamed and booed and out of that rally. It was really funny. Complete wuss, just absolute beta. I think the worst part about it was when there was a video of him dancing in like capri pants. That may be the worst thing I've ever seen a mayor do.
It was so fucking bad.
It was very cringe.
So bad.
Anyways, he couldn't get control on his city when it was basically going up in flames in June. And yeah, he deserves that number 2 spot. Anyone want to guess the number 1 seed in the Impotent Libs division? LB, this is going to be dropping right after the stream. I'm going to put up the first round.
First impotent.
I feel like out of the process of elimination, everybody's already got it. It's Jenny Durkin of Seattle. Calling basically the entire Chaz, the Chop Chaz, whatever you want to call it, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone or Capitol Hill Occupied Protest, the Summer of Love. 4 people ended up getting shot and killed. Or was it 6 people getting shot and 2 of them got killed? I can't exactly recall the numbers, but she just allowed a lot of lawlessness in her city, and it forced the police chief to resign. So, and she was also going pretty hard at President Trump for calling her out. So, Jenny Durkin, number 1 seed. So, there you have it. The worst mayor in America bracket. For all to see. Publicly on my Patreon. I'll post a link and then I'll post it on Twitter, as well as all of the polls, which I will share with you, all the Habibis. And if you guys think that the seating is bad, tough shit. I wasn't the one who seated them. That was a special shout out to Peter Habib, who I hope that is his real last name, because he's already a Habibi. But yes, all of these mayors suck. It's just a matter of who sucks the most. So there you go.
With Blasio and Lightfoot in the same division, man, that's a good call.
The reason why it's same division is because based on whether they are unable to act versus being defined as unable to act versus having TDS. Right.
And also it keeps it a little bit more competitive, because if Lori was on the other side, it would have just been I guarantee it would have ended up her against him in the final.
Yeah. Let me leave this up so people can start calling there. I don't know if you can see it as well. It does kind of.
You're gonna post this bracket.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it via Patreon. I need to. The thing is, I don't have like a good besides Google Docs, which I found this bracket format sort of already pre-made. I haven't found anything else that's really good for brackets. So, but this is what I use during the March Mad list, as well as the TDS tourney.
Microsoft Excel, or you can just download a PDF that's like a template, and then in Photoshop, go ahead and move it around the way you want it. That's the easiest way to do it.
Mark L says Democrats 16, Republicans 0. So that's because mostly Democrats run these cities. It's only when we get to governors that we're going to see some real diversity.
Right.
And that'll be fun. Because that I will probably do afterwards. But the only major city in America where I think there actually is a Republican actually has presence is in Miami. Mm-hmm. Maybe Jacksonville, but
that's about it.
That's about it. Yeah.
And somebody was making the points like, is there any? Not only is there any bad Republican mayors that we don't really know about, can you even name a Republican mayor that's not in your city? Because, like you were saying, the the main cities are all Democrats, and the main shit that you hear from are it's like New York, Atlanta, fucking Seattle, LA, Chicago. These are the fucks that are always in the news too, because either they're saying some stupid shit, or like in Chicago, 40 people were shot over one day period.
But let's just highlight a few. All right, so we got San Diego. Who's the mayor of San Diego? Kevin Faulconer. Let's put that up here.
Since 2014.
Have you heard of anything bad that he's done?
No.
Have you even heard of him before now?
No, and I live in Orange County.
Yeah. So I mean, Republican since what? 2014? Yeah, still been in it. All right, what else we got? Fort Worth. Who is the mayor of Fort Worth? Again, is Fort Worth a big enough city that you need oh shit. Fort Worth Mayor Betsy Price, husband tests positive for COVID-19. Fuck. Probably best she's not on the bracket, because calling her the worst mayor or putting her on the bracket as worst mayor while she has COVID, I guess that's pretty bad. Let's see, what else? Austin. Mayor
Steve Adler. I've heard
Steve Adler.
I've heard of Steve Adler. I think he's done some stupid shit.
And you know what's interesting about Steve Adler, or not Steve Adler, but Austin in general?
What is it?
He's a Democrat.
Oh, no wonder why I heard some stupid shit about him.
No, but I mean, like, even then, like, Austin, I don't think is even that bad of a city.
No, and same thing with Houston.
Yeah.
And Sylvester Turner.
Yeah. Well, let's see what else. Remember Rob Ford? R.I.P. to the God. I'm trying to think of another really bad mayor. I'm trying to think of other bad mayors, whether it be in Detroit. I know there used to be a really bad. There were bad mayors of the past, but we can't put them on there because they're not mayors now. So
Kevin Faulconer. There's Larry Curry, Jacksonville. There is Betsy Price, Fort Worth.
We already got her.
There's DeMargo, El Paso.
Mayor of Houston.
David Holt, Oklahoma
Sylvester
City.
Turner.
Lee Brand over in Fresno, California. John Gills.
Las Vegas.
Mesa.
That's exactly. I was just going to highlight Las Vegas. Hold on one second.
Francis Suarez, Miami. Colorado.
Carolyn Goodman.
Las Vegas. Where's Las Vegas?
And she's
an
currently an
independent.
independent.
Yeah.
She's independent. Oh. She was a Democrat, though. So
she's an independent. And then
I mean, what did Billy Finn say? Oh God! Wait, hold on. I missed this exchange. Will says, "Fun fact: I work with Jacob Fry's wife," and then Billy Finn said, "Work with her boyfriend too."
Damn. Some heat in the fucking Habibi comments.
Yeah. Robert Jeffers says, if you're dinging mayors for catching COVID, Fresno Mayor-elect Jerry Dyer caught it too. Oh, good to know. I mean, but we weren't dinging her. We were just saying, fuck, she got COVID, and that sucks. But let's see. Republican. I mean, it's Fresno. He is the mayor-elect. And he returned to work after catching COVID. So, all right. Well, we will keep an eye on him, because if he starts fucking up, we'll make sure we get him on next year's bracket.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I mean, they're good mayors and they're bad mayors. And it just so happens that most of America's bad mayors happen to be in America's largest cities and are Democrat. If they were Republican and they were doing a shit job, we would call them out too. Michael Bloomberg, who by most stretches is not the Democrat of today. If anything, most people would argue that he is a Republican. He awful mayor, terrible mayor. Rudy Giuliani, interestingly enough, he cleaned up the city, and then New York became infested with basically all the white yuppie kids and turned the city into a basically woke capital of the world. And what you see is what you get. But Faye, thank you so much for the anniversary wishes, Habibti. That was I appreciate that. Let's see. Wait, hold on. Ross is going off here. Siraj, I basically a virgin now.
What?
I don't know. Horny on chat. All of you are too. Fuck all the way off. Thank you, Ross. I appreciate it. Let's see.
I'm googling. I'm trying to Google like U.S. mayor approval ratings, but I'm not able to get really anything.
So Jen says Adler is fighting with Abbott to defund the police. Abbott is also sending Texas DPS into Dallas because of crime. Steve Adler, he's the mayor of Austin, right? Maybe should we put Steve Adler on the bracket to replace any one of these people?
Maybe
maybe Keisha Lance Bottoms.
That's what I was going to say.
Anyone have objections to that? Letting the Habibis marinate on that.
No problem. Palazzo's approval is at 37% or something. It's got to be worse than that.
No objection to that. So we're replacing Steve Adler, replacing Keisha Lance Bottoms with Steve Adler because I honestly, I don't think Keisha Bottoms deserves to be on it. But that's just me. So let's go ahead and take her off. Steve Adler. Austin. Let's go to it. Boom.
Do it.
Any other things we want to change? Oh, sorry, I want to leave that up. I'll just take off this. Fuzzy says, Siraj, I can't stop playing Fallen Order, and I blame you for the new addiction. O&J, tongue my beanbag, you miniature lib.
Fallen Order is fun as fuck. I bought it right when it came out, right when it first came out. It was a gift from Fuzzy's mom. She bought it for me before she even got him a copy.
Okay. All right. So
also, I just wanted to point out, I don't know, I haven't seen, but I don't think anyone at CNN even tweeted or reported on what's his name? Newsom's dinner.
How do you know?
I was stalking some of their Twitter feeds.
Of course you would. Anything. God, it's so funny. People keep telling me how much they love you because you're like Twitter's Ed. Because every time I go to the top of my timeline, it's always you dragging someone to hell. So,
but it's coming. I took the step, and I actually I now put my Twitter account on my PC. I was so worried to do this because I thought if I signed it into anything else, like I would get completely banned. But it's coming. I mean, they're not gonna let me. They're not gonna let me at 10,000 for very long. They don't.
Let's
like
hear
to do
from
that.
some Habibis. If you guys enjoyed tonight's show, please leave us a tip. Obviously, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to our Twitches as well, or
Yes.
at least follow us on there. Our links are obviously below. You can also find us on Instagram. I'd say, Jay, you and I probably put the most content out on Twitter, but that's just me.
Right. I think you're right. I think we do. And I'm excited to get our website relaunched, and we are going to have like some more different merch on it, more products on it, and then
I'm excited because this is gonna be good. Gonna be a good holiday season, and we got a lot of new products that are gonna be coming out.
Yes,
Billy,
sir.
thank you so much for the tip. Appreciate it. Based episode, boys. I think we were pretty based this episode, were we not?
Mm-hmm. No, I think so too. I think from the last two, we got back into our groove and into the flow of the show.
Yeah. Nate BB, thoughts on fleets? I like them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that you get to actually see who is actually watching it,
which is fun, and also you get to see people's day-to-day lives and stuff like that as well.
I mean, it's
I don't have to go onto Instagram to see them and shit.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's ripping off of a concept from all the other social media apps, but whatever. Who gives a shit, right?
They all rip off of each other anyway, so that happens.
I mean, everything is better than Facebook. Let's be honest.
That's right, and also Arnold, I am affiliated on Twitch.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. M. Arnold. I feel like that was intentionally designed for Ernie. Jay just got affiliated with Twitch, so now you can sub to his channel. I sub to it, so you should too. Chris Kinder, thank you. Don't bet on three-legged horses. There's your tip.
It's a good tip. Thank you.
Will sends a super sticker. I don't know what that looks like. Oh, it's literally just someone dancing. I appreciate it, Habibi. First, last, Jay. What's Jay's Twitter handle? It's below. You see at B Taylor 74. It's literally on the ticker below.
But people won't know that it's me because Branson Taylor has nothing to do with Jay or Mujahed, which is so fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So literally, you can go to any of these links: twitch.tv/Siraj Hashmi or twitch.tv/Mujahed Kobbe to find us on Twitch.
Yes, sir. I should be hardwired tomorrow, so we can start killing zombies in the name of jihad.
So I got a really good episode of hashing it out this week. I got Zay Jelani joining me. We're gonna be chatting tomorrow about sort of like the election fallout and this, the Democratic Civil War that we're seeing. Michael, I hope your daughter's doing well. Thank you so much. What's the difference between a hormone and an enzyme? You can't hear an enzyme.
Shit.
Oh god, that's so good.
That's way too good.
Wait,
fucking hilarious.
That's just beautiful. Robert Jeffers, thank you. $5, 1 cent for every minute not spent on tech support tonight. Just kidding. Great show, fellas. Appreciate it. I really gotta order a new. I've been meaning to. I gotta order another capture card just because this shit's just driving me nuts.
Right. And last night mine wasn't any better with for some reason the Focusrite on Twitch just plays one stereo sound from the microphone. So I got a new mic and a new system. So that should make it better. I mean, because I think my audio on this is much better. Yeah. And that's right, Michael. We're going to be playing Among Us soon with the Habibis. Just going to go back on Discord and chat with you guys and see when's a good date for everybody.
Yeah. I love this though. My is that Billy Finn didn't get it. What he says. He didn't get Michael's joke. He says, what's the difference between a hormone and an enzyme? Can't hear an enzyme. Billy's over here that says, wait, I don't get it. Billy.
Billy.
Says, Billy, say it out loud. Oh, right. I was thinking scientifically. Okay. Fucking boom. So good.
He's lucky Rachel isn't here on this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe it's because she's hanging with what's his name? With Prison Mitch right now. Whatever. He's probably gonna shoot me.
Yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen.
Anyways, Habibis, I hope you guys had a good time with us tonight. We certainly enjoy joining you every Wednesday night. Of course, subscribe below, follow us, share the video if you like. Tell your friends about us, tell your family about us. We want to grow the Habibi army, essentially.
100%.
And with that, Habibis, I've been Siraj Hashmi.
I've been Mujahed Kobbe.
And this has been Habibi Power Hour. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Peace out, Habibis. We'll see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Okay, see you.
Ma salama.